Have you ever imagined how the life of a corpse handler looks like? Yes, a man who handles dead bodies for a living, a man who toils day in and day out, works closely with the police and authorities, takes care of the bodies of those who have died in tragic cases, and give them a dignified farewell. For the society, this profession triggers immediate disgust. You would turn around and question anybody who is doing such a thing for a living. On today's episode of Book Show, we tell you about one such story. The story of a man named Vinu. Vinu has been handling dead bodies since he was 15 years old. Belonging to Aluva in Kerala's Kochi, Vinu has been judged, berated by society, and reduced to the fringes. A new book captures the life of Vinu in his own words. It is called The Corpse Collector. The book has been authored by Niyas Kareem and published by Juggernaut Books. Mr. Kareem is a senior journalist currently working with Malayalam news outlet Manorama. The book just doesn't tell you about the story of Vinu. What it also does in the process is move you, shock you, offer some valuable philosophical life lessons, and even leave you in tears. It's a heartfelt story that many should know but don't know about. We spoke to Niyas Kareem on this book about Vinu's life and what he learned as an author. It's a conversation worth watching till the very end. Hello and welcome. I am Shubham Chohan. Let's get started.
When I listened to that interview, what I felt was that I would love to embrace, I just wanted to hug that man. And a very close friend of Vinu found missing, and later that day he came to understand that he was drowned in a river called Periyar. Suddenly, without much thinking, Vinu jumped to the river, and he collected the dead body of his own friend, and then the relation with the Ashans started. He found Ashans, and he was later very much attracted by the job they do. At one point in his life, he got to know that this is his fate, this is his destiny, and this is what he likes to do. And he treated this job with extreme dignity, and he said, this is the ultimate truth. Death is the ultimate truth in life, and death is the most beautiful thing in life. Death is the most certain thing in life. There is nothing called inferior in collecting the dead bodies. But at the same time, he was ostracized by the society. Even his parents were ostracized by the society.
If you had to sum up the one big takeaway from Vinu's story that changed your life or that stayed with you after writing this book, what was that?
Nothing is permanent in life.
Mr. Niyas Kareem, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us here on HW News English. Firstly, congratulations on this book. It's your first book. Let me tell this to the audience. This is your first book. And really, what a story. I mean, it's just about 230 pages, but the message the story has conveyed and the way it is written, it is emotional, it is heartrending. It moves you, and it really, transformed me, and a lot of it stayed with me basically. And I'll not reveal everything. I would want the audience to look at it as well. But this is what really my first impression of the book is. Once you have it in your hand, you just can't put it down. The story is so gripping, and it is all real. And that is something that adds to the shock value that is there to this. So congratulations on this brilliant book that you've penned down in such a heartfelt manner. Let me start with your first thought, or when did you decide to write this story? Tell us about how you came across this character. Before I get into who that character is, tell us your journey with this book and your first interaction with the main character of the story.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubham, for your kind words. And thank you so much for having me here and for introducing this book to the audience. First of all, let me tell you one thing. I found this man in a video interview by a local channel. It was a very intense, very emotional interview. It was a 50 minute duration. And when I watched that interview, in fact, my friend referred to me this interview. And when I watched this interview, what I noticed was that this man is telling his story, which is deeply emotional, deeply moving, deeply disturbing, and the expression was, he was sitting with a stone face and without any emotions. He was telling the whole story plainly. And I thought at that moment that what caused this man to be in such a uh, emotionless, such a plain face, and how this society reacted to him, how this society had hunted him throughout his life, doing this job. He doesn't belong to a lower caste, and he doesn't belong to a lower strata of the society. Nothing, but he was rejected by the society only because of the fact that he does this job uh, as collecting corpses for the police, retrieving dead bodies and cremating the orphaned dead bodies with much dignity. So it was the whole story which uh, pulled me to his life, and with a local contact, I uh, got his number, and I called him. Vinu, I am so and so. I just want to interview you. I just want to hear your story from your own face. I just want to, if you're willing, I just want to write your story as a book. And he suddenly, he was not in a mood to, he's not at all media friendly. He doesn't want fame. He doesn't want to be a celebrity. Nothing. He was, so much, very much conditioned by the hardships he had in his life. And I went to his home directly one fine evening, and I found this man, and he was just came after his work. And when I listened to that interview, what I felt was that I would love to embrace, I just wanted to hug that man, hearing that whole story. And that was the main intention of my visit to his home. And as soon as I met him, I just wanted to hug him, and I initiated the process. But he said, "No, sir, don't touch me. I just came after work, so you don't touch me. I'll have germs in my body." And I was shocked at this reaction. And at the very moment, I realized that he said it to me because of the concern he had for the others. So it was a very impressive moment for me. And when I introduced myself, and after that, I told my intention of writing his life story, as a book. He said there are when his parents are there, they might not like hearing his story. In fact, he couldn't do anything for his parents. So he said to me that we will talk the story somewhere else. So we went to a nearby railway station. It was a spot where all the waste was dumping, and it was a deserted, very deserted place. And we sat on the railway track, and for the next 2 hours, he opened up his life for me, and I was, deeply moved by his story. Different kind of emotions came to my mind. I was I was breaking into tears, literally. And throughout telling, I mean, throughout the session, he was emotionless, like as what I said earlier. He was sitting emotionless with a stone face. Uh, but I noticed something when he spoke about a man who helped him uh, in his past. One particular man, I've described that event in detail in my
I
book.
will, I will, I will, I will come to that. But I think the way you've put this is so beautiful, and it is really touching. Whatever work he does, and he is so passionate about it. To the outsider, it can really feel strange. But let's start, and I want to take our audience through this character Vinu, which is absolutely real, and his story and the different factors shaping his life. And you can see, in fact, there's on the cover of this book, you can see a photo of Vinu, the protagonist, the main character of this book, holding a BD, and there he is, and it's the corpse collector, a true story. And the 230 pages of this book, all of it is in Vinu's words himself. He has narrated his story, right from his childhood to what he thinks of the future. Mr. Kareem, what I want to start with is, for the audience watching this interview outside of Kerala who don't know about Vinu, who he is. Tell us, who is Vinu? Where does he come from? And just introduce us to this character before we get into the different aspects of his life.
Okay, Vinu is a local. When he belongs to a place called Alua, that is in Kochi. He, like all the other people in the locality, he lived an ordinary life till the age of 15. And at that age, he came to he came across some people whom he called ashans. Ashan in Malayalam means masters. They are, you know deserted people. I mean, deserted by the society, shunned by the society, and they were living under railway bridges. And one fine morning, he met that ashans, and he was very much impressed by their habits, because they don't fear police. As a locale, I mean, as a boy, Vinu always feared police. And these people, these what they call, when Ashan, they doesn't have any fear about the society. They doesn't fear police, nothing. And one day, his friend found missing from his school at the age of 15. He was studying in 10th standard, and a very close friend of Vinu found missing. And later that day, he came to understand that he was drowned in a river called Periyar. And he soon rushed to that place, and that these masters were there searching for the dead body of his friend. And when they started searching inside, I mean, in the river, they asked for some assistance. They asked for some help. Somebody come to this part of the river. And suddenly, without much thinking, Vinu jumped to the river, and he collected the dead body of his own friend. And then the relation with the ashans started. He found ashans, and he was later very much attracted by the job they do for the police and for their living. And
So these are masters
yeah,
that Vinu came across when he was in the 10th grade. Because here's, just to put it in perspective for our audience to help them understand, here's a 15-year-old boy, like any other human being, petrified of ghost stories, of seeing dead bodies, of witnessing death. The death of his best friend in a river near his school shakes him, and the masters that Mr. Kareem is also talking about are these people who collect dead bodies, who bodies that are either, someone has committed suicide, someone has been killed, and these accidents that happen. So these are masters are that are referred to in the book, are those body sort of cops, collectors really, who work with the local police and local authorities to retrieve those bodies, and that is where a 15-year-old Vinu, like Mr. Kareem said, he's fascinated with this world. Like you were saying, Mr. Kareem, what was it that drew him to this job of a corpse collector? I know to many of our audience it may sound unbelievable and really cynical. What really are we talking about? But what was in that moment? A 15-year-old, was it just his fascination with cops and the equation that these masters had? What was it? Was it something in his personal life that pushed him to, uh, that attracted him to this job? What was it at the age of 15 for Veen?
initially he doesn't think of a profession at the very moment he jumped into the river to retrieve his friend. It was just his love for his friend, his lost friend, that drove him to the water. And after that, he sat with the masters, so-called masters, a few hours, and he was very much fascinated by the way of life, the philosophies, and after that incident, he went in search of the masters under the railway bridges, and every day he bunked his classes. He was studying in a government school, and every day he bunked classes and went in search of the masters. They didn't have any permanent shelters. They kept on changing their where they live, the place where they live. And he's I mean, every day he went in search of the masters, and he spent a lot of time with them. And he learned the fact that masters were shunned by the society. They were abandoned people. They were abandoned by their own families. And the kind of compassion, the kind of philosophies they hold, that brought Binu to their lives. And he later understood that this is the job they do uh, is really a job of dignity. And the very interesting part is that Vinu did the job not because of he liked it first. uh, he he came to I mean, he came to this job only because of the fact that Ashans didn't fear police. As a young boy of that age, like everyone else in that 10th standard student, he feared police very much, and he was very much fascinated by the Ashans way of life. They didn't fear anyone in the society, and that drove me like a fanboy moment, like an ordinary boy feels about a celebrity or a film star. He had a fanship towards Ashans only because of the fact that they didn't fear police, and that's why he drove to the lives of Ashan. He and
So
late.
a tragedy led him to this, and then once he entered this world of, once he saw masters, and then you write, I mean, it's mentioned so beautifully when Vino is narrated it, as to how he went chasing for those masters because he really wanted to meet them. He was intrigued by their character. He was intrigued by who they are. But at the same time, as years went by, Mr. Kareem, when um, gradually he started working with those masters, Vinu started uh, assisting local police in retrieving bodies, doing all the formalities that are there. You see that while he was doing all of this, of course, he had to pay a very heavy personal price.
Yeah.
His parents, who, like you said, who come from very simple backgrounds, they were ostracized, they were humiliated by their, neighbor in their neighborhood, saying, "Ki, here's your boy who picks up dead bodies for a living, and he gets paid for this." And he was, it became like a taboo. His first wife also left because he hid the fact that he was a cops collector, and that he was an auto driver. Then once his wife got to know, his wife gave him an option that, either you pick me or you pick this job that you're doing. So he was basically shunned from all parts of society, like his masters were. Talk us through that phase where, Vinu talks about the humiliation that he had to face and his family had to face uh, during this period.
Yeah, that was the most shocking part of his story. Uh, in fact, Vinu's work is confined only to a very small sphere. And in that locality, everyone knows what Vinu does for a living. In fact, he accidentally started this job, and then he made it a profession. And he started assisting police at a very young age. And initially, he was doing this job with his masters. He was assisting his masters, and later he started doing this job independently for the police. And police paid him small rewards for this job, and the kind of recognition he was getting from the police, it was a huge reward for Vidu. As a boy who always feared police, the recognition and the friendly relationship with police made him attracted to this job. And at the same time, the society was ostracizing him for doing this job. Actually, they were treating him as a rabid dog. He was he was being treated as a AIDS patient at that time. And people just back of hit him by the back of his head, and drive him off wherever he sits. He couldn't find a place called shelter. He couldn't rest anywhere, even in the temple ground, even in the playground, anywhere in his locality. He was he can sit, and he can talk with people. He didn't have anyone to share his feelings. From everywhere, if he goes to a local shop, he was denied service, and if he goes to a hotel, he was denied food. From everywhere, he was driven off like a dog. It was the most shocking part of his life.
And his
At that,
parents were also absolutely not happy with what he was doing. And what
yeah,
was their reaction? Yeah.
yeah. Actually, his father wanted Venu to be a very educated man, and like his all other relatives, he wanted him to study more and to get any government job, and lead a decent life. But for Vinu, this was his at one point in his life, uh, he got to know that this is his fate, this is his destiny, and this is what he likes to do. And he treated this job with extreme dignity, and he said, "This is the ultimate truth. Death is the ultimate truth in life, and death is the most beautiful thing in life. Death is the most certain thing in life. There is nothing called inferior in collecting the dead bodies." But at the same time, he was ostracized by the society. Even his parents were ostracized by the society. His father and mother never wanted Vinu to be in this profession, and they bought Vinu an auto. And they wanted Vinu to do other jobs, but finally he never settled in. He was pretending to be an auto driver at the daytime, but whenever police calls him, he leaves the auto and he does this. Collecting these corpses, dead bodies, and he was finding shelter, and he was very happy, contented in doing this job. And when he was totally alone, he he started going to the crematoriums.
I really want to come to that point because, as you flip through the pages of the book and of course Venu's life in the words that he has narrated, at one point he says that, he felt so alone. During the day, you had the entire sort of society that went after him. He did his job. His family had disowned him. His wife had left him. Nothing was in his favor except for a handful of people who really understood and stood by what Vinu was doing. And, in the book, he writes about a phase where he couldn't sleep. He started taking sleeping pills. People warned him that if he does excess, he could die. But he just couldn't, his mental headspace was all over. And then he writes that he started going to a graveyard where he started chatting with dead bodies. He said, the living people, no one is willing to understand me. My own family, my own relatives have disowned me. The entire society has disowned me. And it's only the dead who I treat with so much of dignity in my work. They are the ones who don't ask me anything in return. They just hear my side. So when Vinu used to visit these graveyards, what was he going through mentally? And what was that space like for him?
Yeah, it was like a eureka moment in Vinu's life, because he found shelter at last, because no one else was listening to Vinu, no one else was sharing space with Vinu, no one else was physically present for Vinu, no one else was understanding Vinu. Even his parents, he was denied entry to his own home at one point of time, and then he started loving nights. Night was his only shelter. It was the only moment where nobody understand, nobody recognizes him, and he started going to the graveyards in the night and spent the whole night there. At a stage where no one else was sharing time with him, he started talking to the dead bodies, uh, whom he himself has cremated there at that graveyard. And at that time, that is, this is where I put a philosophical undertone to his Vinu's life story. This is where Vinu found the ultimate truth of life. This is the ultimate truth. Death is the ultimate truth. A graveyard is like a garden of truth, and he found it at last. And he forgot. He had forgotten all his worries. This is my final. A place of peace. This is where I get mental peace. And these dead bodies are my friends, whom I can talk. They might not talk to me in return, but I can share my feelings to them. And that at that phase onwards, he found a shelter in his own life, and he learned that this is his destiny, and it is a niyoga in his life to serve the dead, and that is where he found shelter at last.
Yes, and he writes about everything in so much of detail. He writes from the fact that he says he has buried more than 1,500 bodies, and he has a notebook where he has penned down each body that he has buried, and he keeps emphasizing the fact that had anyone else been there, they would have mistreated and mishandled the body. Here was Vinu who was handling uh, a dead body with so much care, with so much affection, with so much dignity. He said at a time when, and these are some of the most gruesome incidents and the most gruesome ways of dying. So, if a train runs over somebody, if someone jumps off a cliff, all possible ways of dying. And he in fact writes at one point that in such devastating tragedies, even their families wouldn't want to sort of look back at the bodies of their own son, daughter, brother, husband, wife. But here was Vinu who always wanted to give that dignified farewell. And like you said, there's a philosophical um, undertone that comes with it, that it all has to end someday. And the soil from which you're born, the soil in which you're born, you have to go back to that soil at one point or the other. But one of the other aspects that comes across in the book is the role of the Kerala police. At the very beginning, you write it when you're gone to meet him. One of the preconditions that he had put for you was, don't write anything bad about the Kerala police. And you realize why, you understand why when you go through the pages, because the police has been there through thick and thin. They've been through his personal setbacks, personal worries. They've given him food, they've given him shelter, they've given him mobile phones, and they've always taken care of Vinu like their own. And he speaks of them so fondly. So, what was the role of Kerala police in Vinu's life? Because we always hear about the bad stories about cops, how police is bad, how they do dirty things, how they are involved in corruption. But when Vinu speaks of Kerala police, it's in a completely different light. So, what was the role of Kerala police in Vinu's life?
Yeah, to be very frank, I didn't come across a guy who is madly in love with Kerala police. This is even though Kerala police are his beneficiaries, they showed him so much compassion that that caused Vinu to always testifies the good face of Kerala police. Even at that time of abandonment, everyone, even nobody was talking to Vinu. Only Kerala police was there. Only Kerala police and his masters were there to console him, Vinu. And Kerala police always help him to get a living by giving him small rewards, and they treated him. The most important fact for Vinu is that they treated him decently. They treated him as their own people, and they treated him with dignity. And I don't think that there would be a man in Kerala who always speaks good about Kerala police. And not only Kerala police, anywhere in the country, there will not be a man who speaks about only good things about police,
Right,
as we do does.
right. Two more questions before I wind up this interview. Towards the end of the book, Vinu writes about his ambitions and what he wants in life. Now, this may surprise many, or whatever one may feel, but Venu's dream is to have a graveyard around him, and his graveyard that he can call his own. So, tell us more about that. What are his future goals? Because he's clearly mentioned that he doesn't want anything materialistic. He has a wife, he has a child, and that's his world right now. But his work is equally important to him, and he doesn't want anything beyond that. He said while he has understood the guilt of not having, proven his parents right or happy, kept them happy. But this is the fact of life, that this is his family and this is what he loves, and a graveyard is all he wants. What is it about, and what is his thinking behind this, Mr. Kareem?
Yeah. This is where I fall in love with this character because he doesn't own even a cent of land. He doesn't own anything materialistic in his life. The very happy thing is that he got a wife who is very much impressed by the work he does, and they are living very happily. He's a man who finds happiness in every whatever he does, uh, and he's a man who's contented throughout his life. Now he's leading a very peaceful, very happy life with his wife and a 2-year-old son and his parents. Uh, he doesn't want anything. He doesn't accept money if we give him unnecessarily. He wants money only to cremate the orphaned dead bodies, nothing other than that. uh, his greatest ambition in life is that he needs a dead body. I mean, he needs a crematory. He needs a graveyard to cremate abandoned orphan dead bodies. That's all he wants in his life. And the philosophy, like what I said earlier, the philosophy that leads to this greatest dream is that only the certain thing in life is dead, and we have, as living people, we have some responsibility towards the dead, and we don't have to treat them badly. We should give them respect. We should give them dignity. We all should give respect to the dead bodies, and that is his greatest wish, and he is in search of that to fulfill that wish. And even his wife is also dreaming the same thing. She added a beautiful thing also to his dream. She wanted flowering plants, trees to this Vinu's dream, and they together. If his son, their son grow up, Vinu's wife Binsi is also, she also wants to do the same job as Vinu does now.
Right. My final question to you, Mr. Niyas Kareem, as an author, as journalists, we all tell stories every day of different people, their problems, and all of that. But I think some stories really stay with you, and that is something that one of Vinu's story is, that it stays with you in more ways than one. If you had to sum up the one big takeaway from Vinu's story that changed your life or that stayed with you after writing this book, what was that?
Nothing is permanent in life. Nothing. Nothing. You know. Vinu has taught me many things in life. He taught me to be happy at the moment, and he taught me to be happy with the kind of work we do. He he taught me to be contented in life, to be satisfied with whatever we have. Only I still remember the line he said, "Sir, the most beautiful thing in life is death, and the most certain thing in life is death. We all will die one day, and there is nothing. I mean, we." There is nothing other than life which is permanent in life. So that is the biggest takeaway Vidu has given me.
Right. Mr. Niyas Kareem, thank you so much for joining. To our audience, of course, this is the book again, The Corpse Collector, a true story. It is true. You go to Kerala and you speak to people like Mr. Kareem, and they'll tell you that this a man exists. You have people like Vinu who still exist in this world, who teach you so much about life, above over and above the daily grind that life teaches you, but there are some harsh realities, some philosophical things that no textbook can really teach you. And I think Vinu stands for that, for teaching you something over and above what life teaches you on a day-to-day basis. You can find this lovely book on e-commerce websites like Amazon and Flipkart. You can find it in your nearest bookstores. Please do get a hand on this. I think I would urge everybody to sort of read this book, not only for the way it's been written, but the deeper message it conveys about life. And it surely it changed me. It stayed with me. I'm sure it'll stay with you as well. And like Mr. Kareem said, it has taught him some, I would not say harsh truths, but some basic realities of life that we must all uh, we must keep in mind. And of course, stay in the present, be happy, and peel off at every bit of arrogance that may be there in human beings. On that philosophical note and really thought-provoking note, Mr. Niyas Kareem, thank you so much for taking out the time. Congratulations again on your very first book, and I hope to speaking you and I hope to speak with you again going forward. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Shubham. I would like to thank Vinu for having to come in front of me, and I would like to thank my translator Ministhy also. She's a very compassionate lady who always stood by me in translating this. Thank you.
Right.
Thank
And
you
in
so
fact,
much.
what we've not even discussed is not even, we've discussed the book superficially, and which is why I say it's important for the reader to pick this book up and read, to know who Vinu was, who Vinu is rather, who Vinu is, what he stands for. And he just doesn't stand for the work he does, but something much more than that. And that is something that I think you will find when you read this book. Mr. Kareem, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.